I said, I go unto the Father, for my Father is greater than I. And now I have told you before it come to pass, that when it come to pass, you might believe. Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world comes and has nothing in me. But that the world may know that I love the Father, and as the Father gave me commandment, even so do I arise. Even so I do. Arise, let us go hence.
All right, let's go to Revelation chapter 12, and then we have one more for the conclusion. Revelation chapter 12.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
All right, so we was talking about this third part of the stars of heaven being cast to the earth. These are the angels that left their estate being cast down to earth. The stars are representing the angels. Go ahead.
And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Elohim, and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared of Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
3.5 years, to symbolizing our dispersal out of this land and returning back into the land. But we can't return into the land in the state that we are. Even though we starting to keep commandments and we starting to clean our body, there's certain things we can't clean, because even the clean food we try to eat is messed up. So we got to go through the desert. When you see wilderness, we thinking like Georgia wilderness, trees and all. No, we talking about desert. You're going to have to have a forced fast. You're going to have to sweat. You're going to have to drink pure water wherever you can get it. And you're going to have to rebuild that body. And it takes time for the body to regenerate itself, to get rid of bad cells and bad chemicals in our body, and even the air we breathe and all that stuff. It's going to have to cycle out. We're going to have to clean ourselves physically in that wilderness, in that secret place. And we're going to have to rebuild ourselves spiritually, because in this process of 3.5 years, there's going to be rebels being purged out. The Most High will show who with them and who not with them. Go ahead.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was there a place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, the old serpent called the devil, and Hashatan, which deceives the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
All right, that's that third of the stars being cast out, and the adversary, the devil, being cast out. So we have to keep in mind, if it were possible, it would fool even the very elect. So when a man comes up to you trying to tell you he's Hamashiach, I'm Yahshua, I'm Christ, one of the first questions you should ask him, if you Christ, what the adversary of the devil? We're the third of the angels. How you hear Yahshua, but we still here in America? Why are we not in the wilderness? Why we haven't gone through our cleansing? You would ask these questions. And in understanding the Old Testament and the New Testament, you can't be fooled by somebody claiming he Hamashiach. Go ahead.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and kingdom and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his Mashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time, and half a time from the face of the serpent.
All right, again, 3.5 years. Go ahead.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
So he's going to try to drown us with this water, but the earth is going to help us. Go ahead. You got a comment, brother? You want to?
It's a new voice that I don't recognize. So they got some visitors.
The science is just beginning to catch up with creation that was there in the beginning. And even all that he says, that's nothing. That's light work. That's nothing. That's just that the earth was created for man. Man is a better creation. Man got free will. The earth got to do exactly what it was created to do. We got choice. You know, so the earth has gone through its changes and is waiting for the manifestation of the saints. And the problem with man is man want to explain how everything happened scientifically. So man, and when I mean man, white man want to explain everything so that he can become God. So he can say, oh, I can do it too. I can create life. Who tried to do that? There's only one spirit that tried to do that. The adversary, the devil. The adversary, the devil, oh, you want to create life, or we going to create life? We going to do what we do. Hold on. Go ahead.
And Revelations chapter 13 and chapter 12 and verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahweh, and have the testimony of Yahshua Mashiach.
All right, and that's very important right there. The dragon, who knows the adversary, the devil, was mad with the woman, Israel, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, the body, the symbol, which keep the commandments of Elohim. So this is what we have to understand and have the testimony of Yahshua HaMashiach. When the devil comes on this earth and tries to attack, he's trying to attack the covenant keepers, the commandment keepers. So when Yahshua comes back with the 144, who he going after? He going after the people not keeping commandments. So these people getting murdered on the earth, they thinking adversary the devil. Oh, he's a wicked devil. You killed my friend, you killed my cousin or whatever. No. If you keeping the commandments, the adversary the devil is trying to come after you, but he can't touch you. He can't touch you because he can't beat the angels that are assigned to you, that behold your face in heaven every day. Can't touch you. You're protected. That's how you know the difference between those that are sanctified and not. Because the same destruction is happening, but they're not getting touched. But all those that don't keep the commandments, the adversary of the devil is coming to kill them. Because they are his people. He's killing his own people. People that don't keep the commandments, that's the adversary's people. And that's why the devil was going to be going in the lake of fire as well. Because for the testimony against him for killing his own people. You read all 17? Okay, cool. All right, let's go to Matthew. Excuse me, not Matthew. Luke is chapter 16, and we're going to read verses 19 through 31 for the conclusion. Luke chapter 16, and we're going to read verses 19 through 31 for the conclusion. And this here is a good example of people that want to reject the Old Testament. The Old Testament has the law and the prophets. They want to reject him. They want to reject this word, and they thinking that some kind of miracle is going to happen that's going to allow them to learn righteousness. But if the law and the prophets not convincing you to do righteousness, a man raising from the dead ain't going to do nothing for you. Ain't going to change nothing. And you can see evidence of that in the earth right now because everybody claims, oh Christ, I love you, Jesus Christ superstar, I love you, oh so much. But yet they're not changing.
What you get, Lord, know my heart. Yeah.
Yep. People always say that.
They all say that. Lord, know my heart.
There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in the grave, he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and sees Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame.
Alright, so let's explain what's going on here. This is prophecy. This is something that's happening in the future. This is not something that has happened already. And see, what we ought to understand when you're dealing with Yahweh, when Yahweh says something, it's already happened. He's living on a different dimension. We are living trying to catch up to the things that he already said was going to happen. Happened. So this is prophecy. And we're talking about torment and flame. That's not the grave. When you're in the grave, you unconscious. You dead. That's it. He's talking about the lake of fire here. He's looking up in the lake of fire and seeing what's going on here. So this is prophecy. Abraham is not around, floating around talking to folks. Abraham is asleep just like everybody else that died, like David and all the righteous people. They're asleep, just like your grandma, your auntie that passed away, your friend that died in the 4th grade. All them people just asleep. None of them are burning and suffering and this, that, and the other. Go ahead.
But Abraham said, Son, remember that you in your lifetime received your good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and you are tormented. And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot. Neither can they pass to us that would come from thence.
Alright, so this is also talking about the lake of fire, where you have a separation. This is the new heaven and the new earth, and you have a lake of fire. And in the lake of fire, those that are in the lake of fire cannot cross over. That's it for you. There has been judgment. Yahweh has judged that the judgment is final. The people that are on life are able to see those that are on the other side, but they can't pass over that great gulf. Enoch goes into great detail about this. Go ahead.
Then he said, I pray you, therefore, Father, that you would send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. Abraham said unto him, They have Moshe and the prophets, let them hear them.
You got the law and the prophets. Moshe gave the law. And you got the prophets that told you, listen, man, y'all ain't keeping the law. Y'all say he gonna do this to y'all if you don't stop transgressing this law. If you're not listening to the law, and you're not listening to the prophets, the servants of Yahweh that are telling you it's not going to end well with you to keep transgressing these commandments, then what? Go ahead.
And he said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent.
Surely, if you come back from the dead, and I tell you like Scrooge McDuck, well, not Scrooge McDuck, Scrooge from the little story, whatever, surely they will listen, right? Go ahead.
And he said unto him, If they hear not Moshe and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead.
And one did rise from the dead, and they're still not persuaded. You still have Yehudim that know they Yehudim, but still don't want to deal with the Mashiach. Even though one rose